Hi, I'm Seamless, and today is Friday, which means it's time for a new How to Bass tutorial. And today, I'm going to show you how to make this sound. So the actual result might not be that interesting to people. Some people might be like, oh, it's awesome, but other people will be just like, it sounds the same as stuff you've done before. And this patcher image should kind of give away what I'm trying to do here. I'm essentially crossfading between 5 different Vocodexes for reasons. I thought recently about these line editors and about how anyone who's ever used FL has thought to themselves at some point that wouldn't it be great if we could automate these, like just move these around, because you move especially in this particular one. This is the modulator pitch shift window for Vocodex, which means that we're able to change the pitch position of a band based on per band information. And just moving it a little bit makes quite a dramatic change in the tone. So like it would be cool if we could move that. Just move it, right? And the short answer is we just can't. So the sort of remaining option is the crossfade between 2 different or more versions of the plugin to create sort of a macro control. You've seen me do this before with something like the wave shaper, where I'll have 2 different kinds of distortion and I'll crossfade between the wave shaper to cause distortion. The thing about the wave shaper is that doing that is a little bit like just straight morphing it. There's a lot of processes that do that. Like the crossfading is just literally what it would be like. Like if you morph between 2 different FM types, that's basically just like crossfading the volume of 2 different operators. So that can work. Well, for more complex stuff like Vocodex, the crossfading doesn't quite do it. And for this particular experiment, I really didn't pay attention to what I was doing in the different Vocodexes. I just put this up here, and like there's different band information, different pitches and bandwidth settings, and then like different different pitch shift, different bandwidth, and different distribution sometimes. Not all times, but sometimes. And because you can, like I've said before, you can get a tremendous, like you can do a lot with Vocodex to a sound. So it should be pretty easy to create a motion between 5 different Vocodexes that when you cross through it, you create a modulation that wouldn't have been possible with just a single Vocodex. And that kind of worked out. I definitely got a bit more creative a tone out of this than I might have if it was just a single Vocodex. As far as what's actually like what I'm using to make the sound, it's pretty pedestrian in terms of like what the carrier is, for example. This is a screwed up saw wave, which is when you make a saw wave, and make sure this is what I'm not using. Make a saw wave, create shape harmonics, create shape inside harmonics, which recreates it out of sine waves, and then you can randomize phases, and it creates a blurry sounding saw wave, and that blurry sounding saw wave is being ring modulated by a half and even setting sine wave, which makes it essentially so that only this particular portion of the period is actually illuminated. You can think of this as being like a mask that's only allowing this one section of this waveform to be audible during the whole period. So we don't get the smooth sound anymore, we get a really, really sharp sound. A lot sharper than what sort of a regular saw wave would sound like for some reason. I'm also FMing the saw wave by another oscillator just to screw it up even more to just make it a little bit more interesting. And that's what's up. The ring modulation is slightly different pitch, and this is so that the masking would appear to kind of like scan through the waveform, because they're not the same pitches, aren't going to line up right. That's sort of the purpose of that. Because if I didn't do that, it would be static. The reason why it's not static is because the FM over here is doing it as well. Just be straight. This is actually that little bit amount of it and that little bit of motion actually does quite a bit to the talky nature of the tone, even if I wasn't doing anything with a modulator. It's being distorted, and it just makes it louder, really, and harsher. More sort of harsher than you would want out of like a regular tone, but we do it here because that's what sort of as a carrier Vocodex likes better. So these are all going into the carrier inputs of Vocodex, which when you add a Vocodex, what you have to do is you have to tell it you have to add additional inputs, and you have to add 2 of them. Even though there's already 1 there, and you can just count that as 2 inputs, you want to have an input 1, input 2, because when you go in here, there's an input 0, but that doesn't really, it doesn't always know what to do with that. So it's just easier if you just have an input 1, input 2, and you can set to be whichever one you want to be the carrier modulator. You just want to make sure that you're making the same carrier modulator if you want to be the same tone. Although, actually, now that I thought about it, it'd be kind of interesting to have one of these steps to have switched to be that different character for that one moment. The modulator is a bit more fun. The modulator is this harmor, which is just regular saw harmonic structure, and I have 2 custom shape filters going on. Let's see, custom shape 1 is this guy, and I'm modulating the width. The width of, I think both of these actually are linked to Modulation X. This guy is straight up just 1 there, and then this dude, which is just that guy. That's custom shape 1. Custom shape 2, please. I think I might have just ruined everything. Nope, still there. It's just another one, and it's just there, and it moves, and that's with the width. And the whole point is that I just want to create like a vague form of demotion, which gets interpreted by the bands, and then you can screw around with it with Vocodex. And that's more or less what happened here. I am key tracking it, which is handy because I play higher notes and you get sort of a higher format, and then lower notes you get lower format. Which if you want to do that, that's fine. If not, it's whatever. You have to keep the X parameter all the way up when you're doing this stuff, because I'm linking it to the X parameter, which is controlling the crossfading between all these fruity balances here. And I did not do it right. Is it all the way up or all the way down? It might be all the way down. Sometimes it gets stuck, you get to press play and to unstuck it. And sometimes the parameter needs to be all the way up or all the way down for it to even know that it's being automated properly. And it can be kind of weird. Anyway, the crossfading, when this gets all added together, then I high pass it, replace it with a sine wave sub. Actually, I'm going to make that have a little bit of edge to it. And then it goes, you can see your bass, and then you have the mids, and then the compression is mostly just multi-band limiting. Like, there's a little bit of extra there, but I bring down the post, so it's being brought up, but being brought down again. And then a fairly even leveling on the end there. This didn't change the sound all that much. Oh yeah, crossfading. So, the way the crossfading works is that each Vocodex has a fruity balance, and then each one of those that's articulated 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And you can sort of see how this worked when I am coming through here. Is that like here's number 2, so it's just on, and then it comes off, and then it comes back in and turns off. And this is not really a good or even crossfade. The thing about crossfades is that you want to have, especially if you're doing like 5 of them in one sweep, and you want to have them set up in such a way that it doesn't sound like any part is getting louder or quieter as you scan through them. It's a little bit easier when you're using compression because it solves some of those leveling problems. But also you just want to make the shapes a little bit better, and I just fully didn't do that. Sometimes. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Strangely, if you do it too fast, it creates some weird artifacting, but like if I do it slow enough, it's only if I do it too fast. It's kind of weird. Not totally sure what's up with that. You could elect to automate like a lot of other parameters to make sort of the individual ones more interesting. So the whole point is that we're trying to get an overall modulation that we would not have been able to get out of just one Vocodex. And that proves to be difficult because you can do a goddamn lot with one Vocodex. But I just want to kind of put this idea out there to people because I mean, it's something I didn't think about very often. Like even after I saw, there's actually a Black Sun Empire tutorial about how to do Reese processing, and what they would do is that they would make like multiple different like entire effects chains, and then crossfade between them in a single Reese. So like that was their method, and that was a kick-ass method. So like that idea could work out pretty great in an environment like this, and the sound is pretty neat, so people like that as well. Anyway, this patcher will be available down below in the description of this video. If you have any questions about this, please let me know. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And as usual, have a nice day.